Hello Bomber fans and welcome to the flight deck. It is Captain Hopwood here and I'm joined by co-pilot Jamie Dingo Dienio. Dingo, it's fantastic to have you on board here on Bomber Talk.
Yeah, it's great to be here. It's first opportunity I've had to actually sit down and have a chat with you. So, no, it's fantastic to be here.
Fantastic indeed. Now, Dingo, we know it's been pretty turbulent up here in the skies, that is TSL football, over the last few weeks. And it all comes down to the last couple of weeks of football. Of course, we have the big game against the Tigers. They came here, they were primed, they were pumped. They'd won 4 games and it was a must win for us. How did you see the game?
Yeah, it was a pretty good game. We just sort of come out and we really need to play our brand of football, and there was an opportunity for us to have some blokes stand up, and it was a really good game and really good outcome for us.
Last time, of course, we went down to the Twin Ovals. I think we were probably thinking about the game ahead, and maybe we didn't pay them with the due respect that was needed. In fact, they're a young team, they're going places, and all the fans down there at Tigerland, I think, will be pretty happy with their form. But we were tuned in this time. We were ready. We were prepared on the Sunday, and we came out and had a very solid victory right from the outset.
Yeah, they had a lot of key players which we knew we had to be aware of, and I think after going down Twin Ovals and losing that game, I think we had a lot of fire in our belly to really come out and want to, again, play our brand of football and dictate the game from the start. And I think we did, and really showed ourselves as a strong contender.
Absolutely, it was really interesting too. One of the chaps, young Nicky Dodge, of course, he's been playing a little bit down back. It was interesting to see when Coach Winter put him forward. He's got some pace and some toe, and he knows where the big sticks are, and he put a lazy 5 through, and I know that thrilled the crowd because he is one of the young men that are here at the Bombers for the future of the club.
Yeah, he's a great spark to have, and when he's up and about, he really sets a tone for the rest of the team. He's a lively fella and great to have around the club, and he's really, his enthusiasm just goes right through the team, and he's a fantastic guy to have, and when he's on song, he's on song.
He certainly was on song, and he wasn't alone. So it was the Lauderdale Bombers. They were 20-18-138 to the Tigers 8-7-55. And as I said before, Dodgy kick 5. Holton, again, the big fella at kick 4 down there, and he's a pretty hard fella to move, isn't he?
Yeah, he's another one. When he's kicking goals, the team's playing well, and he gets double teamed week in, week out. And when he takes on 2 players and actually can still take a good mark and kick 4 goals, you know that the team's going well.
Absolutely. So from there, McManus 3, McGuinness a couple, Woodhead 2, liked his game, Waller 2, Bell Chambers and Hill. And the best for the Lauderdale boys, Hill, which was fantastic, Dodge, Tate Turvey, Dunham, Sutton and Waller. Well, we disposed of the Tigers, a very hard-fought game, and then it all came down to the last game of the season. We had to travel to North Hobart Oval on the Friday night after a very small turnaround, and it was a win and we go in and finish 4th, or it was a loss, and that could be goodbye for the season. Dingo, we were pumped, we were primed. It was a really good crowd up there on the Friday night special, and I thought it was one of the better starts that Lauderdale have had.
Yeah, well, we did have the short turnaround, having played on the Sunday and then coming out and backing it up on the Friday, so that was a concern for us. We had a bit of a lighter week on the track, and were able to get our bodies right, and we really needed to stamp that game out because I think last time they actually beat us, Hobart City, and that was something that we really, really needed to win to make sure that we made finals. We didn't want to rely on other games for us to make finals, so coming out, starting well, and then really piling it on in the second half was something that we really needed to do, and we did well.
It was pretty interesting at the start. I know we're all doing the warm-up, and then Elijah Taylor, who was making a comeback to senior footy, all of a sudden, he's just pulled a little calf muscle, I think.
Yeah, that was something that we probably weren't expecting in the warm-up, and Ray Hill, who was close by, down buying a kebab, actually, had to be called up, and he actually played a really good game himself.
He did.
It wasn't the ideal preparation for him, but he definitely did the right things and had a pretty good game.
Yeah, he certainly did. Well, the crowd were pretty happy. I think it was the first half. The second half we slowed down slightly, but we really had it in our keeping. It was played on Bomber terms, and I thought it was a really good, solid victory. And unfortunately for Hobart City, that promised so much with a week or so ago in the final five, that was it for them.
Yeah, I think they had a few injuries from the week prior. I think Ryan Sullivan went down with a broken arm, and DeBoz injured as well. So I guess you can only play the team you put on the park, but that was definitely, I guess, a load off for us. But still, again, we focused more about how we were going to play rather than who we were going to play against.
Exactly. One of the other points was nice to see Cassidy back, and he got 3 goals. He was fantastic. Boscott was back. So we're starting to get a little bit more of our senior players back, which is encouraging. On that note, so Big Siggins got a couple, 5-2, Walsh, Boscott, McManus, Dunham, Bell Chambers, Hill, Holton and Dodge. And the best players on the night were Duggan, who's been very, very solid down back, Waller, Dunham, Siggins, McGuinness and Fife. Now, Dingo, I know you're very happily ensconced down here in the Lauderdale community, but if you want to move, Harcourt Signature will just have the house for you. Indeed, it is time for our House of the Week from Harcourt Signature Real Estate. Escape to the sanctuary of your dreams. Discover a new way of life in these serene surroundings. 51 Paroa Court, Sanford features 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 3 garages and off-street parking for 5 cars with offers over $495,000. This immaculately presented home will satisfy your desire for privacy, comfort and earthly connection. The fastidious owners have renovated with flair, style and function in mind. The new kitchen is dazzling and connects to an indoor-outdoor space, which capitalises on the views and the layout of the home. The separate formal lounge is a great relaxation space. Superb outbuildings including a triple garage, big workshop and a separate sleep out for visitors. An immaculate home, sensational views, perfect privacy. What more could you want? Contact Neville Howlett on 0418 129 539 or neville.howlett@harcourts.com.au. Well, after that victory, of course, it was high excitement for the Bombers because they knew that they were going to be playing in finals football. And it was then on to the Bluntstone Arena where we were going to take on Devonport, a nemesis for us because last time we played them, Dingo, up there in Devonport, they absolutely belted the living suitcase out of us. And in fact, I think they were 74 points up at half time. We came home with a wet sail, which was solid. But they're a very strong physical team, and this was going to be a big challenge for us.
Yeah, that was a game we'd probably rather forget. The first half for us, we were very down and not playing the way that we normally play, that hard, tough football. And first to the ball, winning the ball. And Devonport, they came out strong and really punished us in the first half. But we copped a bit of a spray at half time and a bit of that's that. And we came out second half and played the game that we wanted to play and started playing with a bit of ticker, and unfortunately we were too far behind at that point. But this game, we knew it was going to be hard.
Absolutely.
Knew it was going to be physical, and we just really wanted to start the way we finished against Devonport and not come out and dish up that first half of football we did.
Well, it certainly was the start that we wanted. It was pretty wet, miserable conditions, but of course we're playing on a premier oval there at the Bluntstone Arena, and at quarter time, 3-2-0. I mean, the coaching staff couldn't have been much more pleased with that. And our intent, the tackle count was up, the pressure was enormous, and you could see it mounting on Devonport right from the outset.
Yeah, the ground, I feel the amount of rain, firstly the ground it had, it was, it was a pretty premium deck, and although it was blowing left, right and centre, we came out and we were prepared to play wet weather footy, and from the get-go, we just tackled hard. The pressure was there, fantastic. Kane Waller with a couple of fantastic tackles and kicked a beautiful goal. But yeah, we were just we were playing our brand of football again, and we were dictating.
We were, weren't we? We were really throwing the ball around. We were taking it on. There was once or twice, or once in particular, I noticed we brought it from the back pocket across the half-back flank. It came undone, but we were just prepared to back ourselves. And I know Coach Winter said that when someone mucked it up. He wasn't angry at all. The only thing he said was just don't drop your head. We're going to back you to play the style we want to play. And I was most impressed by some... Well, I couldn't see a weak link. That was the key for me. It was almost full strength. There's a couple of other lads, of course, your very good self included, who can make their way back into the senior squad. But it was great to see everyone playing well. There was no weak link in that senior side this week.
No, and I think that was the trouble with trying to pick best player. There was a lot of them. It was a great team effort by everyone on the ground. We had a couple of roles that were outlined during the week, and those players played those roles really well. Be it cover some of their more experienced players, and that was done really well. I think Tate Turvey was one of those with a role like that, and he did quite well in blanketing Hazelwood.
Yes.
But there were a few others, and we just all stood up. Winnie was pretty happy with the way that we were moving the ball around. If there were mistakes, like you said, don't drop your head. Mistakes happen, but it's how you react from those mistakes.
That's right. Well, of course, it was a fantastic victory, and it was Lauderdale 13-8-86 to Devonport 7-8-50. We had goals, 3 in the first, 2 in the second, and an even spread in the third and the fourth with 4 goals apiece. Nick Dodge again went forward and was very creative with 3. Holton 3. McManus 2, Walsh, Cassidy, Waller, Boscott and Dunham. And the best players, like you say, it was pretty hard, but we've settled on Walsh, who just kept on racking up possessions. Stanley, who is really growing into the role down here at Lauderdale, especially across back. Of course, he joined the club as more the sneaky forward, but he's ending up a very creative backman. And there was once in particular when he ran backwards without any fear at all and took a mark. I think he won a lot of friends down here at Lauderdale after that effort.
Oh, definitely. He like you said, he was brought down here as a forward, and he's found a great position for him down back pocket, and he's really embracing that role. Going back with the flight on the weekend was something big feather in his cap, and it permeates through the team and through the club, and people see that, and it does change the game.
It certainly does. So Ed was fantastic. Jack Siggins, another one of those big men that have come back into the team, and he's just going from strength to strength. Where's Tate Turvey, you'd mentioned, Adam Duggan, and it was great to see back from injury Isaac Franks as well. So a fantastic win there, and now the Bombers take on North Launceston. So the battle of the Bombers up there at Aurora Stadium this Saturday. So the early bus leaving at 6:45 for the Development League, and 8 o'clock the bus will leave for the seniors. And if you want a spot on that one of those buses, give someone a call here at the club. You can call me on 0419 970 400 and we can get you a spot. And let's get up north and support our Lauderdale Bombers as they're pushing on to the flag in season 2015. Also, let's just touch on the juniors, because it is the STJFL final series at the moment, and the under-12s agonisingly lost their elimination final, but they put on a fantastic show up there at the TCA with 2 very, very fine performances. But this week, Dingo, we have the under-14s who will be playing in the grand final at the TCA at 12:30, as well as the under-16s will be playing at KG5 in their preliminary. So if you can get along and help the Bombers get up, it'll be fantastic to see you there. So just in finishing, just a little bit about your good self. You've been hampered this year a lot by injury, and I must admit I've been very proud of your performances, because you spend a lot of time in the doctor's area and the trainer's area. I know you've got a not particularly tall, I think about 185, and you take on some very big roles for this club. You're a valuable member of our team. Can you tell the faithful there, how is your body standing up to the rigours of season 2015?
Yeah, it's probably a bit of a slow start for me this year. Obviously, travelled last year overseas and didn't get back till Christmas. Then went in for knee surgery, but since then, so I've battled with fitness a little bit, but it's something I've been trying to work on all year, and it's just a couple of niggling injuries. I had a bad back there for a while, which I didn't think I'd come back from, but managed. The docs around the place, the physios here, they're sick of seeing me in the trainer's room. Most players, if they ever become great players one day, get a wing. I think they're planning on naming a trainer's bench after me one day. So if not, I'll go stick my own name on there. But no, it's coming along, and it's good to actually be back playing good football, and hopefully pressuring the senior side to get selection.
It takes all sorts of people around a football club there, devotees of the Bombers, and let me tell you, this man right here is a fantastic young man. He's a mentor to a lot of the younger fellas, and although he has been hampered by injury in the last few weeks, given he's fit, he is certainly in our best 22 and a very, very valuable member of the Bombers. So there it is. We very much hope that you've enjoyed this edition of Bomber Talk, and let's make sure you get behind the Bombers as they travel north to take on North Launceston. So from you, Jamie, thank you very much for joining us.
No, thank you very much for having me.
It's all from the captain here on the Fight Deck.
They all try their best, but they can't get near.